Let this international conference on resurgence of state-owned enterprises be an occasion for sharing of learnings, wisdom, and experiences. As the saying goes, let's watch our definitions as they become our thoughts. Let's watch our thoughts as they become our words. Let's watch our words as they become our actions. And let's watch our actions as they become our destiny. We wish all our delegates the very best in the next 2 days and beyond. Let's now move on to the inaugural session by welcoming our dignitaries onto the dais. The Honorable Minister for Industries and Commerce, Government of Kerala, Sri Elmaram Karim, who presides over today's function. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Mr. Elmaram Karim. Our chief guest of the day is Professor Jomo Kwame Sundaram, Assistant Secretary General for Economic Development, UNDSA. A very warm welcome to you, sir. A big round of applause to our chief guest. Our guest of honor of the day is His Excellency Miguel Angel Ramirez, the Ambassador of Cuba in India. Let's welcome His Excellency. I'd also like to welcome Professor Prabhat Patnaik, the Vice Chairman of the State Planning Board, Kerala, the President of Center of Indian Trade Unions, India, Mr. A.K. Padmanabhan, the General Secretary of the Revolutionary Socialist Party, India, Mr. T.J. Chandrachudan, the President of Hind Mazdoor Sabha, India, Advocate Tamban Thomas, and the Secretary of the Center of Indian Trade Unions, India, Mr. Dibankar Mukherjee. A very hearty welcome to all the distinguished guests. I will also request Mr. T. Balakrishna, IAS, the Additional Chief Secretary, Department of Industries and Commerce, Government of Kerala, to kindly come over to the dais, as well as the Chairman of RIAB, Government of Kerala, Mr. John Mathai, and also Mr. Alkesh Kumar Sharma, IAS, Secretary, Department of Industries and Commerce, Government of Kerala. A hearty welcome to all our distinguished guests. Mr. John Mathai, the Chairman of RIAB, who is also a retired IAS officer, will now formally welcome the distinguished guests and the august gathering.
President of the meeting, Honorable Minister Elmaram Karim. We expect two more ministers soon, Mr. Divagaran and Mr. Premendran. Professor Prabhat Patnaik, Vice Chairman, Kerala State Planning Board. Your Excellency Miguel Angel Ramirez, Ambassador of Cuba in India. Our chief guest of today, Dr. Jomo Sundaram, Assistant Secretary General of Economic Development, United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs. My dear colleague, Additional Chief Secretary Sri T. Balakrishnan, Center for Trade Union President Sri A.K. Padmanabhan, General Secretary RSP Professor T.J. Chandrachudan, Hindu HMS President Advocate Tamban Thomas, CATU Secretary Sri Dibankar Mukherjee, my colleague Sri Alkesh Kumar Sharma, international and national delegates, officers from the Department of Industries and Commerce, our PSUs and central PSUs, and my dear friends. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome to this august gathering all of you on behalf of the Department of Industries and Commerce, Government of Kerala. This conference was conceived after the National Conference on Resurgence held in November 2009 in New Delhi. We had also conducted 3 regional conferences on the subject in Thiruvananthapuram, Kochi, and Kozhikode to disseminate the achievements of the Kerala SOEs. The Industries Department, under the able leadership of our Honorable Minister Sri Karim, has been working towards improving the overall performance of the SOEs in Kerala. The results have been extremely encouraging and exemplary. The companies which made a loss of 69.49 crores during 2005-06 registered a net profit of rupees 239.75 crores during 9-10. I am not going to explain in detail as our Additional Chief Secretary Sri T. Balakrishnan and also our Honorable Minister will give details during their presentation here. Now, it's my proud privilege to welcome all the dignitaries of today to this function. First of all, I welcome our beloved and able leader, Sri Elamaran Karim, Honorable Minister for Industries and Commerce, who is presiding over this function on behalf of all of you. Our Vice Chairman of State Planning Board, Professor Prabhat Patnaik, has been always an inspiration to Industries Department, and he has helped us with much provision in the state annual plans for the revival of the public sector. I have great pleasure in welcoming Professor Prabhat Patnaik. We have great pleasure in welcoming His Excellency Miguel Angel Ramirez, Ambassador of Cuba in India and a great friend of Kerala. The ambassador was telling me that he has visited Kerala 8 times in the past 3.5 years. And he is coming here again with a dramatic troupe in the end of this month to perform for Kerala people. I welcome him. We are indeed honored to have Dr. Jomo Sundaram as our chief guest to inaugurate this prestigious conference. I may introduce Dr. Jomo for the benefit of our audience. Dr. Jomo was born in Penang, Malaysia. He is Assistant Secretary General of United Nations at present. Dr. Jomo has an extensive background in the field of economic development. He has taught at Harvard, Yale, Cornell, and various universities in Malaysia. Dr. Jomo has also served as the honorary coordinator for the G24 Intergovernmental Group on International Monetary Affairs and Development. Over the years, Dr. Jomo has authored more than 40 monographs, edited more than 60 books, and translated 12 volumes, in addition to writing numerous academic papers and articles for the media. We are indeed very proud to have Dr. Jomo as our chief guest for today's function. I heartily welcome him. Sri A.K. Padmanabhan, President of CITU in India, is here with us and is a veteran trade union leader, and I heartily welcome Sri Padmanabhan. Professor T.J. Chandrajudan, General Secretary of RSP India, is a great friend of Industries Department, and he is guiding us in our day-to-day functions. And he is very well connected with many of our public sector undertakings in Kerala, and I have great pleasure in welcoming Professor T.J. Chandrajudan. Advocate Tamban Thomas is the president of HMS in India. He is a well-known advocate, and he is also a very active trade unionist in Kerala, and he has always been supportive to the Department of Industries, and I have great pleasure in welcoming Advocate Tamban Thomas. Come. We have Sri Deepankar Mukherjee, Secretary of CITU, a veteran trade union leader, and he has also attended our Delhi conference, and I have great pleasure in welcoming Mr. Deepankar Mukherjee to Kerala and also to this function. Honorable Minister Premadhan has just arrived. Honorable Minister for Water Resources, Sri Premachandran, he has always been supportive to the Industries Department and to all our endeavors. He is also an active trade union leader and very well connected with some of our industries, especially in Kollam district. I have great pleasure in welcoming Honorable Minister. Our guide for all this program is our Additional Chief Secretary, Department of Industries and Commerce, Sri T. Balakrishnan. He is with the department for a few years now and is ably guiding the department. I have great pleasure in welcoming Sri T. Balakrishnan to our midst. Our colleague, Mr. Alkesh Kumar Sharma, he is Secretary Industries Investment Promotion, as well as he is the Managing Director of Kerala State Industrial Development Corporation, our main arm in development of industries. And I have great pleasure in welcoming Sri Alkesh to this function. We have very eminent trade union leaders here among us. They will be participating in the ensuing programs today and tomorrow. Many of them have come for this inaugural session. We have experts from public sectors. We have former BAFR Chairman, Mr. Chiriyan Varghese, and we have international delegates and very famous economists and people connected with state-owned enterprises. They will be participating in the deliberations in the subsequent programs. I welcome all of them on behalf of you. And we have the officers from central public sector units and our national banks, especially the banks connected with our Industries Department, and also officers from the Industries Department and various other departments of Kerala government, and the secretaries from various departments have come. I welcome all of them on behalf of the Industries Department for this function. A special word of appreciation to the staff of our Honorable Minister, Special Private Secretary Mr. Shashidharan Nair, and Private Secretary Sri K. Gopakumar, and their colleagues in the Minister's office. They have been working along with us for the last few months to make this conference a great success. And I welcome the private secretaries of Honorable Minister to this function. We have also the media, both the print as well as the visual media here. They are always very supportive to the Industries Department, and especially our programs. We have also introduced an award for the best written piece on industrial development in the print media as well as in the visual media, and these awards were given during November this year itself, and we are always grateful to the print media and the visual media for projecting the achievements of Industries Department in the state. I welcome all our media friends for this function. A special word of appreciation to Sri K. Padmamumar. He is Secretary of RIAB and is a colleague of mine, and he is spearheading all these programs. And all the officers of the RIAB, they are very hardworking and they had contributed to the success of this program. And I express my appreciation as Chairman of RIAB to Sri Padmamumar and his team of officers and welcome them to this program. Once more, I welcome all our dignitaries as well as the press and all the participants of this program, and I hope that these two-day deliberations will help move forward the program and projects of our department for the success of and the well-being of our state. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Mr. T. Balakrishnan, the Additional Chief Secretary and the moving force at the Department of Industries and Commerce, will now talk about the conference and its objectives.
Honorable Ministers, distinguished guests, Vice Chairman of the Planning Board, very senior trade union leaders, delegates from the country and outside the country, my colleagues, friends from media, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. John Mathai gave a brief idea about the conference. The reason why we have invited all of you here is because we think there is something that Kerala has to tell the world. And we also believe there's a lot we also have to hear from the rest of the world. The purpose of this 2 days conference is basically to share ideas and experience and to work together for the common welfare. We always believed that business should always be in the private hands. That was the earlier system. Then came a change of thinking by the middle of 19th century, put into practice during the early part of the 20th century, of controlling and regulating the means of production and distribution through the state arm. Subsequently, that system has not fared well, and that has been given up by most of the countries. In India, we tried a different method of handing over the commanding heights of the economy to the public sector. Later, when we analyzed the rate of growth in India, we realized that also has not succeeded as well as we wanted the country to succeed, and we moved away from that. That was the time when the whole world was moving away from state ownership to private ownership. And the options before the governments were very limited. Either close down the public-owned enterprises if they are not doing well, or privatize them. Was there any third alternative? When the present ministry came to power in 2006 and Mr. Elamaram Karim took over as the Minister for Industries, this was one of the main issues that has been worrying him. He wasted no time in gathering the experts, discussing with them, looking at the experience of various countries and various states, and then came to a conclusion which was put forward in the form of an industrial policy in 2007. There are two things which we did which were slightly different. The first was that even though incidentally, Kerala has probably the largest number of state-owned enterprises in all the states in India. So the first thing that we started doing was to tie up with the stronger central public sector undertakings. The weaker ones in the state were tied up with the stronger state-owned enterprises owned by the federal government. That worked fairly well. But is that a replicable model? Well, many of you are also representing the federal government, and also this probably may work well for states and provinces, but for the larger corporations owned by the states, this may not be a replicable model. The second one was, rather than privatizing or selling it or closing it down, we started nursing them back to health. And once we nurse them back to health, very close monitoring at the level of minister himself on a monthly basis to ensure that they don't fall back to the sickness of the old days. I think the second one, with slight modifications, with institutional changes, even though the minister himself was monitoring that, we have institutionalized to that extent through the organization called Public Sector Restructuring Board, the RIAB which we call, of which Mr. John Mathai is the chairman. This job is entrusted to this organization called the RIAB, whose responsibility it is to study, to analyze, to compare, to check with, to benchmark, and give that in a digestible form to the minister and officers so that we can do a meaningful professional monitoring and comparison. I think the second experiment is probably more relevant, we think, to the rest of the world. As I said earlier, There may be many other experiments undergoing simultaneously in other parts of the world. While we would like to talk about our experience, we are equally keen to listen to the success stories from the rest of the world. We believe that there's a lot we can learn from the experience of the other parts of the world. Certain facts have come out during our monitoring and performance evaluation. That is that it's not necessary that a sick enterprises buy